Whew, did we spend some money this week? All right. Well, I have placed my order at Gearstar. They're really great to talk to, very helpful. And I should be receiving my wonderful full SFI scatter shield spec billet, everything God knows what, 204R transmission in about 4 months, because they're that backed up. They're so busy. I guess I'm about 100 or so in line right now, but that's okay. It's not a big rush. This is a build for next year, as I've been saying, so I'm good with that. But I can't wait. It's going to be fantastic. But I also got my new wheels and the tires and the slicks and the tubes and all sorts of other stuff came in. But one of the things on this box, let's see if I can find it. Oh, there it is. Check fit all wheels before mounting tires. Mounted or used wheels cannot be returned. You mount them, you own them. So that's what we're going to do. I opened this bad boy yesterday just to make sure it was exactly what I ordered, and it is. It's classified as a 0 offset, I think, because the 4.5-inch back spacing puts the face right in the center of the wheel. So I'm going to try to set this camera down and pull that out without screwing it up, because these were not cheap. I don't quite remember what I paid for the ones I bought 25 years ago, but I don't think they were as much as these were, that I recall. So let's get this out of here. Woo! Little condom on it. Oh, that's pretty. Whoop. Seriously? Plastic? Ah. Oh well, I'll probably use the originals. But, yeah, that is a pretty wheel. Man, I love these. I don't know why. It's just classic from my era of paying attention to drag racing. Still nice and beefy. A bit different than my originals. Which, or is it? No, it seems to be the same. Yeah, it seems to be the same. Looks like a 2-piece. Huh. I thought there were 3, the originals, but no, it looks to be 2. So I did measure it. So right now, we're going to take this thing and... Oh, I can't set the wheel down because I'll scuff it. Wait till I crash into a ditch to scuff it. But, so we're going to pop that on there, make sure the bolt pattern is correct, and that the back spacing does what I think, and then, hopefully, we'll be in good shape. Come on, baby. Sweet baby Jesus. There it is. Yep. Now, I was wondering about this, because I was reading the NHRA rules, and to be legal, technically, studs have to stick out at least a diameter past the face. As you can see, these don't. And actually, even with the spacers on my other ones, they stick out further than this. So this has a much thicker face than my original ones. So I, to be legal, probably going to have to put longer studs by about a 1/2 inch in these axles. Shouldn't be a big deal. They press in, but just something I'm going to have to do. But, yep, that looks good. Got some good clearance back here, as I was hoping. I think we're going to be in really, really good shape. So I am happy, happy, happy. These wheels are looking good. And this weekend I'm hoping to get the tires and the tubes all mounted so we can get them on here, see what they're going to look like. So anyway, we'll see y'all when we get to that. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, we got all our parts. We got Old Faithful. Got my tubes, got my tires. Nine and a half, 15, 16. 9.5, 15, 16. Pick the right tube, yay. Got the tubes warming up on the truck. And I got some conflicting information on how to install them. This side of the box says, lubricate entire tube with approved mounting lubricant prior to mounting. After seating beads, completely deflate and reflate. Alright, that's fine. But in here, it says, insert tube and partially inflate. It may help to lubricate the tube with baby powder. If you're using a liquid lubricant on the bead, do not allow lubricant to run between the tire and the tube. Well, I'm using a liquid lubricant that it says to lubricate the whole tube with, but then it says don't run it between the tire and the tubes. I don't quite know what the hell that means. I'm going to see if we have any baby powder or something. If we don't, I'm just going to wipe it down with that because it says it. So I'm not going to worry about it all that much. But we're going to go from there. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is get the old wheel sitting on Old Faithful. I can't believe these things come with plastic caps. Okay. And I get some cardboard, because this doesn't need, I don't need to lever on it and reef on it and bead on it. I'm going to get a little bit of cardboard and cushion this where I'm going to put the clamp on it. So, I'll do that right now. Alright, so got my cardboard, put that on there, that on there. Alright, good enough. We're not going to go crazy with this one because I'm not levering on it to pull a tire off. And so, now, I need one of these guys. And one of these guys. I guess the first thing I should do, it's kind of neat, we've got like a three-piece, this is the stem that holds it in place. The center section completely unscrews, and that is what goes through a nice little O-ring there. Doesn't look too chewed up, which is good. I want to test this to see if it's going to fit through the hole that I may have to open up. Which I have to open up. Yippee! Okay. That's how you can tell these are more street oriented than the originals, because the originals, that fit right on, no problem. So, we'll do a little looking. See what size that has to be opened up to. And drill on my brand new wheel. Okay, so that is just under a ½ inch. $470. And the tube is about 480, just also under a ½ inch. So we barely have to take a nick off of that thing. I don't want to go full ½ inch because that's going to be, I think, a little sloppy. So I'll go look quick, see if they have a recommendation for that. Otherwise, we're going to just barely nip it and open it up just enough. Alright, according to the old intertubes on Mickey Thompson's site, specifically related to these tubes, they want a 5/8 hole. My God, is this thing even that wide? Phew. That's, that thing there is just under 3/4. It's an ID of 675. So we're only going to have like 25 thousandths on each side of this to hold the tube on, to hold the valve stem in place. But they say that hole has to be 5/8. Gracious. That seems excessive. I mean, it'll give you a target to shoot at, that's for sure, but holy shnikes. I hate going against the manufacturer, but that, man. That's easily going to fall into the hole. I don't like that at all. I think that needs to be no less than 600, because then it can't, the nut can't fall in. If that's 5/8, you know, that thing can get cocked in there. I don't like that at all. I'm not a big fan of that. So let's go back to 5/8. Yeah. I think I'd be okay with 525, but not 625. That extra 100 is gonna really bind that thing up. Well, okay, I see what they're doing. They actually want that rubber piece to go into it. That's what's going on. It's not the metal. That's all going to be sticking out. That rubber is just under 5/8, so that's what it is. This part here is going to be in the hole in the tube. That's why it's 5/8. Okay. So 5/8 it is. I'm going to go find, somehow I'm going to be able to drill that. I hate drilling holes in my new wheels. Alright, we got my speed bit kind of marked at the 5/8 mark. So, double check that. Yep, pretty much. So, whew, we're going to start from the top, I guess, and then tap it from the bottom just to make sure she's good to go. Of course. Let's see where we ended up. That may have been able to go all the way through. Yeah. 5/8. I'm going to go get my deburring tool, spin that around a little bit, and that's ready. Alright, so I've never had one of these for a long time. I used one years ago when I was working in a machine shop. But it's got basically little cutting edges. Which typically you'll insert in there and hopefully tighten up. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's kind of neat. It's a push lock. That's cute. And then it spins around. You can go around your hole and deburr it. We're going to do that. Just nice and light. Very nice. Perfect. Figure we'll need that when we're doing the exhaust. So now that that's done, now we can start the hard part. And I gotta go get a new battery. Alright. So now we're gonna test fit this tube again. Yep, that's exactly what it does. Okay. So that pulls through like that, which will allow that cap to go down over the top of it, pinch it real nicely. Perfect. Excellent. That's what we needed. Alright, so it says to powder up this sucker, which ought to be a joy. You radial guys have no idea what you're missing. Smooth. Whew. Smells like baby. Okay. More. I guess this is so that it can move around a little bit inside the tire. Alright. Now, uh-oh. Oh boy, there it is. Lost my valve stem. Come here. Come on. Okay. Now, it says put this in the tire and put a little air in it. I guess it's going to go that way, I suppose. And we're going to get the air chuck. And we're going to lay this down that way. Put a little air in it. Okay. That kind of fits the tire. Tube with the valve stem is offset, which nicely matches the wheel, which is good. Otherwise, sometimes you might have to drill a hole somewhere in the back, who knows. But, alright, that doesn't look too bad. Okay. Now I guess we will get the RU Glide, tire lubricant, make a little cup of that, be ginger with it, getting it on the bead, and see if we can get that bead to go on. Back in a minute. Alright, typically you'd want to thoroughly clean the wheel, but this is a brand new wheel, so I wiped it down, wiped the beads down, nice and good. So now, going to take a little bit of this stuff. I usually use a brush, but then it gets all over the inside of it. And try to be kind of easy on this one. Suppose I could take that flashing off of the outside of the bead. I think it'll be alright. Alright. Now, while aiming the tube, or the tube, at the hole, see if we can't push this baby on there without using tools. I think we can. Okay, come on. Come on, baby. And there she goes. Get the tube. Put it on the tire. Get the old valve stem kind of where it needs to go. Just going to put this little capture nut on loosely for now. And I'm going to take, it was basically equalized, so there wasn't a lot of air in it. That's not going anywhere. Now, this one's going to be a little more fun. Okay. Alright, feels pretty good. That's about where it wants to sit. There she goes. Alright, now I'm going to just wiggle the tire back and forth, loosen that up a little bit so I can see the thing move, and just try to make sure that that doesn't get stressed, doesn't get bent. And now, we're going to put the top bead on. Okay, first thing we're going to do, grease up top bead a little bit. Goo off the wheel. And then we're going to start away from that side, because they want you to put the valve stem spot on last, is what they suggest. Okay. This is a bit of a juggling act. Okay. Everything looks good. I don't think we're pinching anything. All right. Come here. There we go. Making a mess. Okay. Perfect. All right. Yeah, and I forgot to turn the camera back on after I did that, so I'll film this and then we'll catch the next one when I put the tire on. But it went on pretty easy, took my time, and no real issues. So now we're going to actually try to follow the rest of the direction. Inflate tire slowly to seat the beads. Do not exceed 40 psi. Okay. And so that's what we're going to try to do now. And I have well, we got to put the core back in it. She looks pretty good. This actually has a tire pressure gauge in it. Which of course I can't get. Like that. Nope. Dadgummit. About the only anyway. There we go. Let's try this. Still no. Thwarted. Okay. Try that. This thing does not like that valve stem. So, set her back up here and use my regular one and just go easy on it. Don't put your finger in the bead, you dummy. Okay, everything seems pretty good. Hear it blowing air out of the wheel, which is kind of disconcerting because it sounds like a leak. Everything looks pretty good. That's one. There's got a little way to go. There she is. And then it says to pull the valve stem out, deflate it completely, and do that a couple of times, bounce it around, make sure it's going to stay seated, and is actually going to be happy with what you're doing. I think it looks pretty good. I don't see any wrinkles. Looks pretty darn good. I think that went rather well. Alright, we'll let her deflate completely and then we'll pump her back up. Alright, she is fully deflated. It's funny listening to all the air scream out of the wheel. She goes. 6. 10. I used to run about 12, as I recall, in the Firebird. So we'll go a little more than that. Almost time for another hat. Alright, that's 15. Alright, that was 15 pounds. Put the valve stem cover back on. I think my camera's overheating a little bit. But she looks pretty good. A little drippy because I sweated all over it. But I think we're in good shape. I'm pretty happy with that. So hopefully that's going to work. Yeah, the tube is in there nice and solid. We got that good. So I'm going to do the other one right now. I'm going to try to catch the video of actually putting the tire on the wheel, and then we'll edit that in, and then maybe slap one on the car just to see how it's going to fit. I think it's going to fit perfect. So here we go. Alright, there they are. Seem to be okay. Nothing too special. So now we're going to hop back over here. Oops. Well, and unlock that, get in there, jack it up, pull the tire off, and set one of these on there, see what she looks like. Alright. So, I knew it was going to be about a 27 versus a 29, and it is. And it's a bit narrower. So, we should be in pretty good shape, I think. I'm going to roll that bad boy over there. I didn't think I could get, because they don't have a 29-inch tall slick, they only have 29.5s, and they were actually ended up bigger than that tire, and I didn't want to risk it. So we're going to see. We'll see what we end up with. There she goes. Put a couple of lugs on it to space it. See if we can set her down gently with this shitty jack. Nope. Oh yeah. We got all sorts of room. Oh, that looks sick. Yeah, still need a little longer lug nuts. That's the lug studs. Get underneath. Take a quick look at our clearance. And it is wonderful. Yeah. It might be able to fit a 10-inch slick, but this is perfect. If I can't hook with these, then I won't be hooking with anything. But yeah, that is fantastic. So I am very, very happy with that. Because that just looks good. Drag slicks just look good. So we're going to pull that back off, put this back on, put those away. And I'm going to take a break because it is about 95 degrees and an 82-degree dew point. So I'm kind of drippy. All right, so let's see if we can do this properly. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Thanks for coming along. But we're still going. Sometime this weekend I got my next thing I'm going to do. I don't know that I've mentioned it. But when I talked to the guys up at Gearstar, I mentioned I had a 410 rear end that I could put in it. And they said that would be a lot better for the torque converter and everything else. It's like, okay, why not? I got it sitting in my race car. It's a nodular nodular 9-inch chunk with a Detroit locker and 410 gears in it. She's a good unit. Obviously way more than my little 200 horse Firebird ever needed, but should just bolt right in because it's got 31 spline axles, which aren't great, but they're there. And this car has 31 spline axles too. So that should just be a bolt out, bolt in. And then we will have 410 gears. And with the overdrive, it'll be still like driving 283s, which will be nice. So, hope you all are doing well. If I don't see you, happy 4th of July. In any case, we'll talk to you all later. Take care. Helicopter.